A fresh insight from the biggest car market in the world. Today we're on a static preview event of the ONVO L60. We can only show you the exterior footage today, but in a separate room we've been allowed into the interior. I have touched the interior materials, albeit it's not the final spec, to give you a preview. I cannot overemphasize the importance of this car to NIO. At the front, it has more complex shapes than you might think for a $29,000 car. That price is only my guesstimate. It's not the most impressive front end in the world, but it's not ugly. The rear of the car is more successful. It has a semi-muscular shoulder. The tail light is simple and calls back to the flick up of the headlight. Overall, considering its massive interior room, which I'll get to in a moment, it's a B+ design. Generally, you can always make a car more beautiful if you sacrifice space, but that's just not an option for this car.
As you can see, the new car is pretty beautiful. Two great news for NIO Stock is that Morgan Stanley bought 10 million shares of NIO Stock in Q1. Institutional investors learned bearish on NIO Stock during Q1. Morgan Stanley bought 10.11 million shares of NIO Stock during Q1. That brings the investment bank stake to NIO Stock to 28.21 million shares. Other top buyers of NIO Stock includes Bank of America and Davidson Kemper Capital Management. So this is one of the good news. And the other great news is Morgan Stanley upgrade NIO Stock. Here, this is a report. Morgan Stanley reaffirms bullish on NIO Stock after cheaper than expected ONVO launch, which is the card I just showed you on that video. We look at the so Morgan Stanley analysts, release a new research note on NIO, commenting on NIO launch on ONVO, the new sub-brand NIO. The firm has a price target of $10, implying an upside potential of 73% as of release on this note. 73%, guys. Not only like a $10 price. Right now is $5. Thursday, NIO officially unveiled its brand named ONVO with a pre-sale price target of course, is $219,900. So this is like a Chinese currency. I don't know how much this translate that to a dollar, but you can do calculation easily. That's 30,000 less than the Tesla Model Y, right? So Morgan Stanley commenting on the launch of saying L60, right? The first model of the brand is cheaper than expectation, adding that it's worth monitoring if the launch on ONVO brand could enable NIO to meaningfully scale up volume sales. The analysts say the stock might see near-term profit taking after recent rally, 27% versus 15% over the past 1 month. In the wake of ONVO launch, the most important catalyst. So this is a catalyst that might push the stock up. Morgan Stanley added that the investors will keep a close watch over the order momentum of the NIO brand in May and June, but also the pre-order for the ONVO model. While the launch event appears successful and ONVO L60 look compelling in terms of price and spec, investors would also keep a close watch over the order momentum of the NIO brand in May and June. Comparing the main competitor, the world best-selling car Tesla Model Y, the analysts enhanced that L60 provides a larger legroom, heads-up display, and charging capacity, of course, 900 volts, and the long-range version comes with 1,000-kilometer range. That's a crazy. But now let's look at the numbers and see what prediction of the stock, where the stock is headed from now if you were to buy today. Again, if you like this content, just make sure you smash that like button, and if you are not a subscriber, in order for you not to miss this type of updates that I always provide to you, just make sure you subscribe. So now NIO stock right now is 528. We look at the 52-week range. At one point, it went all the way to 361. So if you bought at that time, you would have almost double your money. But the highest it was before, within the 52-week range, was all the way to 1618. Right? We look at the volume is 60 million volume on a daily basis. That's based on a 30-day moving average. You look at the revenue at 7.81 billion. Beta. So beta is the measurement of volatility of the stock versus S&P 500. We look at that right now is about 191. So if you're holding the stock and you see all this movement going up and down, don't panic. You have to understand it's a very volatile stock. So you don't compare that to S&P 500, of course. If we look at the Morningstar rating, their Rating right now, fair value is 910. Do you remember the analyst from Morgan Stanley says the stock is going to $10? Not too away from what Morningstar is. It's rating at 910. If we look at the trading center highlights, we look at the support of NIO. Support is found at 448, and then the resistance is found at 580. So this is a pretty good, when you see the resistance, meaning if the NIO stock passed the resistance value, so meaning every time it goes to 80, before 80 it rebound back to where it is, and it goes over to 448, and that's a support. Between these two numbers are a really good number to gauge. Right now is in between those, so we are hoping if the NIO stock is going to break from the 528, it goes all the way to 580, and if it passed 580, that means the stock is going to go up more. So that's the numbers we have to watch right now. So I think there's a good place to buy because it's in between support and resistance. Guys, this is the data. You can't find this data. You have to pay for this data. So this is a great channel because I'm giving you the real numbers from real analysts, and this is a great data to have. If we look at the analyst recommendation, all these are the metric number here, but there's a price target here. High based on 27 analysts, it says the stock $71. I think that's a way too much a price for me myself. I see that's a way off the chart there. But it says 71 here, and if we look at the low is 28, and mean is just an average will be about 49.89. So the stock may even go higher to that price. Imagine if it goes from where it is right now to 50. That's crazy. But remember, NIO at one point it went all the way to $50. So it might happen again, right? But if we look at another metric here, the lowest it's predicted to be going is $4. Average is about $8. So even if you buy today, you're that price, you are gonna be getting 57% almost, right, from where it is right now. But the median analyst prediction is about 720, and that will give you about 36%. But if the highest on this chart is going to $16, so that will give you 203%. So guys, that's that's all I have today about NIO stock. So I think it's in a good price right now to kind of fetch some shares before it break this resistance right now. So again, make sure you subscribe, and if you like this content, give me a like. Till then again, bye bye.